Okay, let's get started, ladies. So this is a very special webinar because I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite topics. Okay, ladies, everyone is muted. Okay, the audio is muted for everyone. So anything that you want to share, please share in the chat box. Because if we unmute everyone, we'll end up into chaos. Okay, so I will be asking you a lot of questions, and you can ask me questions, but please post that in the chat box. So today's webinar is a very special webinar for me because I love talking about this topic. And I think not enough women in business realize the importance of choosing the right business models, of choosing the right things to do in their business, of choosing the right price points. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about. And in between, if you have any questions, just post them in the chat box. In between, I will keep asking you questions so that I can fine tune my responses for you or fine tune my examples for you. So keep sharing in the chat box. Okay, so let's get started. For those of you who don't know me, for those of you who haven't interacted with before, my name is Richa Jain and I'm a business strategist. I'm an online business strategist. In the past, I have worn multiple hats. I've been a techie, I've been a web designer, I have run a copywriting firm and semiconductor software for 20 years, 2 tech patents, a master degree, all of that. So I bring a very varied background and different perspectives to business strategy, to online business strategy. More importantly for you guys, I have been analyzing businesses since like 2007 or 8 and learning about SEO and internet marketing, digital marketing before that term was even coined. So that's kind of a quick background for me. And I really believe, unlike most of the other business gurus out there, especially in the internet marketing world where I come from, I don't believe in hustle, hustle, hustle. I don't believe in push, 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 and what one of my friends call the sausage mode of selling, the sausage way of doing business. I believe in keeping things simple and working from a space of connection and service instead of sales and marketing. Does that resonate with you guys? If yes, please raise a hand in the chat box. Okay, so you're not going to hear me talking about get rich quick schemes or just do these 5 things and you will be making your next million or your next 1,000K. Next 100K. I don't work like that. I don't help my clients work like that. Okay, we build a solid business foundation. The people I work with are mostly women solopreneurs who are in business for more than just the money. Yes, money is a very important part of business, but they are driven by a purpose, by a passion that is larger than themselves. They are driven by this thing by this urge to make the world a better place by being in it. That's the kind of people I work with. Okay. Now, the thing with one of the reasons that this is my favorite webinar to run is that it talks about money. It talks about numbers. And most women I've seen have a very love or hate relationship with money. What's your relationship with money like? When I tell you think of your income goal or your money goal, what comes up for you? Can you guys share in the chat box, please? Is it easy for you to think of a number or a money goal? Or does the very process or the very act of coming up with a number make you go, oh, how do I do this? Okay, so someone says excitement. What else? How does it make you feel thinking of numbers and thinking of money? Excited and also scared. Okay, numbers make me squirm a bit. feel defeated. So, in my experience, I've been way back in 2004. I was able to make some really bold life choices and move to a strange new city by myself to start a new life simply because I had money in the bank. And that get me started on this journey of investing and managing my own money. I was able to make a lot of tough decisions in life, things that a lot of women struggle with simply because I had money in the bank. And that got me started on this journey of investing, of learning to interpret numbers and money. And I realized in that process that most women do not feel comfortable with it. Most women do not talk about the numbers. Most women, well, a lot of women like to just go out and shop as long as they're getting money from somewhere. But when it comes to earning their own money or managing their own money or investing their own money, women tend to shy away from it because it's too complex. But it's not really that complex. It's simply that we've been conditioned to think of money as not a woman's thing, as not a girl's thing. Because over and over we are told that, let your dad handle that, let your husband handle that, let someone else handle that, don't worry your pretty head about it. And we carry over that messaging into our business. Is this resonating with you guys? Have you guys experienced this love-hate thing with money? Have you been told ever in your life by a banker or some investor or something that, you know what, why don't you just let your spouse handle it? Yep. So the thing about running a business, if you want to be serious about business, if you're doing business, if you really want to build a solid business and you're not just doing it like a hobby, you're not just, oh, let me put something out there and see how it works out. But when you want to build a solid business foundation, when you want to build a business that is a breadwinner, that brings in the bacon or brings in the bread in your family, then you have to become best friends with numbers. You have to learn to start talking about numbers, to start thinking about numbers, and start tracking numbers. In this webinar, I'm not going to make you I'm not going to get you start tracking numbers and all, but I want you to start thinking about numbers. That's what we're going to work with. Okay. So the first part of it is setting an income goal. Now I'm going to be using 100K as an example for the numbers that I show you. But if you haven't already set an income goal for 2019, I want you to take some time and come up with a number. Don't just pick a number out of thin air. I know some kind of business coaches or a lot of, again, spiritually inclined business coaches or intuitive business coaches will tell you to meditate, tune into a number, and go with that as your income goal for the next year. Now, that doesn't quite work well for me. I mean, is it realistic? Is it doable? Can you really achieve it with where your business is at right now? Okay, so we have two accountants in the group, I think. Robin and Inara, were you an accountant? So, okay, they're good with numbers. But I'm going to assume that, ladies, you are the exception, not the norm. A lot of women, majority of women are not comfortable with numbers. Now, when it comes to setting an income goal, there are two ways I like to do it. One, set a number that look at your expenses and work backwards from there. How much do you really need to make in your business to live comfortably? That's how I started off. So that's the first number. And the second number, a stretch number. What do you need to make to not just be able to pay the bills, but really live comfortably? That's the income goal. And if you're just starting out in business, that can feel a bit daunting, getting your business to pay all the bills. But if you just say, I'm going to set 20K as my goal for next year, or I'm going to set 200K as my number for next year without any real anchor to it, it's going to be difficult for you to stay course. You won't have the motivation to stay course and actually make it happen. Okay. So the best thing in my experience to set an income goal is set two income goals. what would it take for you to cover the bill? And what would it take for you to not just cover the bills, but achieve all your wildest dreams? Okay. So a practical goal, a bare minimum goal, and a higher end goal. Set 2 income goals. Can you ladies take a few minutes out? If you haven't really set a goal yet, can you come up with those numbers? If you feel comfortable, share them in the chat box. No judgment at all here. If you don't feel comfortable, just write it down on a piece of paper with you and keep your goals ready. Okay, so I'm going to be using 100K as an example. I'm going to be using 100K as an example because yes, it's a really nice round number and it makes the math easier. But also for a lot of women in business, especially in the early stages of business, it's a bit of an anchor. It's a bit of an upper limit. Oh my God, that is going to take so much to get to 100K. And again, if you're serious about your business, if you want your business to become the primary income for your family, sooner or later you have to step up to that. It's time to get comfortable with that number of 100K. But again, you don't have to aim for 100K in your first year of business. You don't have to aim for 100K at all. You may not need 100K. For example, I live here in India, where I live here in India. Things are much cheaper as compared to California, say, or Brisbane. 1,000 USD covers all of my monthly expenses. That's how life is here. Okay, so I don't really need per se to make 100K, but it is still a psychological anchor of sorts for me. That 100K is a magical number. So let's use that as an example for the rest of these calculations. Okay, not calculations. Duh. Okay, ladies, how many of you feel comfortable with the number 100K? How many of you think it is doable in the next 12 months for you in business? Can you share in the chat box, please? No one? Okay, Samantha says, I would love to see it. I want to know how to do it. Yes, that's what we're going to cover next. So everyone else, okay, or it says, that would be a stretch for me. Robin says, oh dear, how hard will I have to work? Okay, so what I want you to know, the whole purpose of this webinar is to show you that it's not about working more, that it's not about working 24/7. It's about working smarter, not harder. You see this thing here behind me? It's about working smarter, not harder. It's about focusing. Here's what it really, the issues or the stumbling blocks that I see most of my clients going through. It's first thing that they don't know how to reach that 100K. So we're going to take that out of the equation in this webinar. It's about deciding which kind of business model to pursue, because depending on where you started learning about online business, you will find that you'll find yourself pulled into a crowd which says, okay, this is the way to go, or courses are the way to go, or one-on-one programs are the way to go, or retreats are the way to go, or blogging is the way to go. Depending on where and how you got started in your online business, you might find yourself being pulled in different directions, or you might find yourself going down a tunnel and thinking that that is the only possible way, which may not be right for you. Like back when I started in 2008, I started blogging, okay? And it seemed that the only way to make money on blogs was to get a whole lot of ad revenue, to sign up affiliates. And that time, back then, online courses, etc., or online consulting wasn't as popular. It hadn't even started. So it felt like the only way to make money online was to blog. And then I joined a program about making online courses. And there, because I was completely surrounded by these people, everyone who was creating courses, it felt like the only way to make money online was to create a course. But I didn't like the the impersonal nature of a course, that you just put something out there on the internet and you never interact with people. I think my USP or my strength or the way I like to work is interactive, is working with my clients. That's why I now love to run group programs. The third most common reason is that you switch gears too frequently. And this happens a lot when you've selected the wrong business model. For example, if you've decided to stick to one-on-one services, and you keep changing from, that I'm going to provide sessions that help people with their messaging. No, I'm going to provide sessions that help people with web design, or I'm going to provide sessions with help people with something else. If you keep changing gears, you're not really building up. You're just putting it out at the bottom. And I am really guilty of this. The first year and a half in business, I worked on as a copywriter, and I set up a small firm for copywriting. The next year, I switched to web design. And the year after that, I switched to business consulting. Why? Because at every level, I found that I was undermining myself, that I was capable of so much more. But at that point, I didn't have the confidence to go out and do what I'm doing today. So those different levels helped me build up that confidence. But it also meant that almost every year I was restarting my business. Okay, so I had to build up a brand new following, a brand new positioning, marketing, etc., etc. And that's where the learning curve gets in. Every time you change gears, every time you switch into a different model, you have to redo stuff. You have to select your target market. Who are you going to target? How are you going to position yourself? What kind of services and programs, pricing, marketing, all of that you have to redo. Even if you're switching your one-on-one sessions, like have any of you here switched, people who are watching live, have any of you switched gears and completely changed the course of your business? I know in my work, in my one-on-one work, I've worked with quite a few people who've done that. Okay. Do you remember how it feels like when it feels that you're just constantly starting anew? You're always the new kid on the block. You're always trying to prove yourself. And I see this in certain Facebook groups as well, that for 6 months, someone will be talking about one kind of service, and then the next 4 months, I'll find them talking about something completely different, and then a third thing. Now, that's fine when you are trying to explore and find your footing, find what's the best way for you to work. But at some point, you have to decide what's the path that you're going to take. You cannot get to 100K or even 50K without deciding on one path. If you keep flitting from one idea to the other, it's going to be impossible almost for you to reach any kind of income goal. So the first step is deciding that, okay, this is my income goal, and I'm going to put on blinders and not get distracted by the 20 other things and not go experimenting with everything. I'm going to dedicate 6 months to this path and try and reach my income goal. Does that make sense to you guys? And this holds especially for multi-passionate people. Okay? People who are good at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. For example, healers and psychics. They don't just do one thing. Usually they will have a bunch of different modalities under their tool belt. Okay? If someone does Reiki, chances are that they also do some other kind of healing. And then they keep flitting between how to position themselves. Like for the longest time, I was undecided about how to position myself. Copywriter, web designer, business strategist, what? Okay. So the longer yes, experimenting is important, but at some point you need to take a call. You need to say, this is what I'm going to do. Only then will you be able to move forward. And the main reason for this moving from one to the other or not being able to make that decision. Hello, are you guys still there? Can someone give me a thumbs up or something? Hello, are you guys still there? Okay, looks like we're frozen for a bit. Guys. Okay, fine. So I hope you guys can see me and hear me again. Okay, the underlying reason for all of this is not believing that it's possible for you. Continuing to doubt yourself, continuing to believe that, oh my God, it's going to be so difficult, or some kind of blocks around, oh my God, how would life change if this business actually happened? So again, I'm not going to jump into that now, but there's the underlying issue always comes down to not believing that it is possible. I want you guys to sit with that, and after this call, after this webinar, come back to it. Have you been holding on to that belief, and how can you release it? Towards the end of this webinar, we will do a small meditation to help you believe that yes, it is possible for you, and to anchor in what we've learned on the webinar. Okay, so we'll do a bit of that at the end. But over the next couple of days, yes, it's going to be Christmas. Yes, you have the new year coming up. And that's end of the year is normally a very reflective time for a lot of us. So spend some time sitting with this idea, sitting with this feeling, and wondering whether that 50K or that 70K or that 100K, is it possible for you? And feel into what comes up, write it down, journal with it, explore it, and release it. So let's get to the meat of this webinar. All of that was, well, we had to also cover that. We had to also talk about it. That's the elephant in the room. Those are the things that stop you from getting where you need to be. But now that we've covered that, when you are in the online business world, there are 6 main revenue models that I've seen. Okay, one could be the courses, creative passive income courses, or courses where you just create the videos, upload them, and set up funnels and stuff. The second is where you're providing some kind of service. This could be, for example, creating websites or writing copy or some kind of service you are providing. The third kind of model is coaching, consulting, mentoring, teaching, where you're teaching someone something, where you're helping them solve a problem, but you're not quite doing it for them. You're guiding them on how to do it themselves. You're holding their hand through a transformation. The fourth kind of a model is where you have, instead of working one-on-one, okay, as we do in the coaching consulting, you are working with a small group, a small or a large group. You're working with a group. It's not passive like online courses. There is some amount of personal interaction. It's not quite done for you like services. It's a bit of combination of done with you, but it's in a group format. So retreats, masterminds, and any kind of live group programs are an example of this. Number 5 is affiliates or collaborations. So when you partner up with someone to create a course, or you become an affiliate for a certain online program or service, or you become an affiliate for someone. Okay. This could be multi-level marketing also kind of falls in the affiliate role. You get a commission or a percentage of everything that you sell. Affiliates are like, for example, if those of you have heard of B School or Denise Duffield Thomas's Money Bootcamp, for those programs, the affiliate fee is like, for B School, I know it's around $1,000. For the Money Group Bootcamp, it's again a large chunk, it's $600 or something like that. So if you had a very large list and you just sold to affiliates, program, that could be a tidy sum in the bank. The sixth model is ad revenue. This is the most common model, or this was the only model really when internet marketing started way back when, with blogs coming up all over the place and YouTube channels starting off. Those YouTube channels or blogs that have like 100,000 monthly visitors and things like that, they usually have ads on the sidebar or at the top banner or somewhere there for ad revenue. Okay, are you guys still with me? Someone give me a thumbs up or something. Have you worked with, which of these revenue models have you worked with? What have you used so far in your business? Okay, coaching. What else? Coaching and affiliates. Is everyone here a coach? 3 and 4. Okay, consulting and group programs. One-to-one and done for you. Okay. So, teaching. Awesome. So I think it's when you look at these multiple revenue models, yes, there are people who just sell online courses. Yes, there are people who just do coaching and consulting. But depending on the way you like to work, your preferred mode of working, it may be better for you to juggle or include multiple revenue models or multiple revenue streams. Let's get to that bit. What would it realistically take you to reach the 100K mark or whatever your income goal is with each of these income streams? Give me a minute, and now I'm going to switch over to Excel sheet where I wanted to show you some quick numbers. Okay, can you guys confirm that you see my Excel sheet? Awesome. So this is a very simple Excel sheet where I put in different kinds of revenue streams. Okay, now, and I'm going to show you, if you were to create a course or a service at this price point, what would you need to achieve your income goal? What would it take for you to achieve? How many of those units would you need to sell to achieve your income goal? So I'm going to take 100K as an example, and then I'll show you a couple of others. So for those of you who started off by creating courses, and trust me, I've got a lot of one-on-one clients who come to me and say their business is going to be all about creating this $97 course. And I have to tell them, that's just a course. It's not an entire business model. It's not an entire business. A course is one part of your business. Now, if you created a course at $100 price point, you would need, in order to reach your 100K goal, you would need to sell 1,000 of those. Now, selling 1,000 of those of you who try to sell courses, you know that selling 1,000 courses requires you to, on an average, if you assume a 1% or a 2%, the industry average conversion rate on an email list is about 1 or 2%. So if you assume that, you would have to have 100,000 people on your email list to make 100K selling a $100 course to your email list. Let that seep in for a minute. Does that make sense? Are you guys still with me, or have I confused you with the hundreds there? Okay. So if you want to make 100K and you want to sell a $100 course, the only way to do it is to go big, to have a lot of people on your email list. But if you were to be smarter and create a slightly higher priced course, you would need to sell only 200 of those, which is much more doable than selling 1,000. Or if you were to create a larger course, a more powerful course, then you'd have to sell just 100 of them to meet your 100K goal. And when you say sell 100 of them, well, that works out to less than 10 a month. Okay. Make sense, ladies? Are you with me? Now, the same thing happens similarly when you are charging a service that is per hour. Let me just quickly show you this. So someone had mentioned a 50K goal. For example, if your goal was 50K, you'd have to sell 500 of your course at a $100 price point, but only 50 at a $1,000 price point. Bear with me, ladies. I'm going to be reiterating this a couple of times because I want to get a certain point home. Now, when you're starting out in business, yeah, you may be charging $50 an hour or $100 an hour. Let's take a quick look at how many hours would you have to sell to meet your goal. Okay, if you were charging $50 an hour, you would need to sell 2,000 hours. 2,000 hours comes down to, let's say, there are 52 weeks in a year, assuming that you would take at least 4 weeks holiday sometime. And if you have kids and they have summer vacations, or they fall sick, then even more time. So instead of 52, let's take 42 working weeks in a year. Okay. So if you had 42 working weeks in a year, you would have to work 47 hours a week. 47 hours a week, that's not including your marketing and stuff. So $50 per hour service rate is not really sustainable. It's a great place to start, but sooner rather than later, you need to move up to the higher price points. Let's take an example. If you were charging $100 an hour, that means you would have to work or sell 23 hours for each week. Okay, 23 paying hours for each week. Okay, ladies, are you still with me? Do you see how going from $50 to $100 price point makes all the difference? And if you move to the $300 price point, can you see how this changes even more? Okay, so you'd need to work about 8 hours a week. Let me just make it a nice round number. You need to work just about 8 hours a week. Now, I'm just showing you these numbers. I'm just showing you what's possible. I'm not saying that you go out and start charging $300 an hour. That depends on the value that you provide and how much your people, your target market, how much do they value your service. But for now, I want you to just look at these numbers and sit with them. I'm not saying go out and do this. Yes, Robin says it's about valuing yourself and not selling yourself short. Exactly. And I feel really, really bad when I see women stay at that $20 an hour and $30 an hour and $50 an hour price point for like years in their business. When you do that, when you stick to a $50 an hour or anything below $100 an hour price point, you're going to be stuck in that mode. You're not going to be making as much money as you want to, and that's fine if your business is not if you are not the primary breadwinner. I'm a single mom. I'm the primary breadwinner. I don't have any other financial support, so I know I need to be making a certain amount in my business. If you do not have that pressure, then by all means continue with this. But if you want to make your business the primary income earner, know that somewhere you are going to have to step up. Let's also quickly look at these numbers for 50K. If your goal was 50,000, how would these numbers change? So if your goal was 50,000, then yes, you can get by working 24 hours a week at $50 an hour. Okay, so if your goal is 50K, now depending on where in the world you're living, 50K a year may or may not be able to sustain a good lifestyle. In India, I know 50K is damn good. But in other countries, it depends. 50K in California would not amount to anything. Now, so we talked about services. Now I'm going to repeat the same exercise for packages. By packages, I mean when you've bundled your services into, say, a set of 3 hours or a set of 5 hours, or better yet, you have gotten out of the per hour service model and instead move to a model where you provide results. So for $500, for example, you would provide them an X result. For $3,000, you would provide them a result that's way, way, way better and more than your $500 package. Get what I'm saying? Is that example clear enough, or do you need further clarification on that? So if you were to do that, if you were to focus on selling $500 packages, then you only need to sell 200 of those to make your 100K. If you were selling higher end packages like a 100K package or a 1K package, then you only need to sell 100 of those. If you were to sell only $3,000 packages, then you only need to sell 33 of those. And if you sell $10,000 packages, then in 1 year, you only need to sell 10 of those to reach 100K. What does that tell you, ladies? I think this is a very, very powerful statement. that if you had a service or a package, something that you could package for $10,000, then you would only need to sell 10 in a year to meet 100K goal. Or if you have a 50K goal, then heck, you only need to sell 5. And I know as many of my clients are introverts and they absolutely hate selling. So just the thought of, oh my God, I'll only have to sell 10, that feels so amazing, so freeing. Now, my question to you is, how would you feel selling a 10K package? Can you come up with ideas of what you would package for 10K? This is just a theoretical exercise, a gameplay, okay, to get you to start thinking. You don't have to go out and start selling 10K packages, but this is just an exercise. We're going to get to the roadmaps in a little while, okay? But can you think of what kind of service or offer that you can provide for 10K? Okay, Samantha says no. What about the others? Michelle, Inara, Nicole, Tiffany, Robin. Can anyone come up with ideas of what they could provide for 10K? Okay, so can anyone come up with ideas of what they could provide for 3K? Okay, can you please share what would you provide for 3K? What kind of package you could provide for 3K? VIP day, yes, now we are getting the juices flowing. So VIP day for 3K, or you can even have for 10K, for example. Let me give you guys an example. 10K can be 1 full year of support or coaching. Okay. Okay, Nicole, if you're driving, then please don't type in the chat box. Focus on the driving. There will be a replay going out, but I like to keep it interactive. So, but Nicole, please do not type if you're driving. Yes, weekend retreat. VIP weekend for couples. Yes. Awesome. So we've got the creative juices flowing. Now I want you guys to switch gears a bit and we'll do a similar exercise for a group program and mastermind. Group program, mastermind retreats, anything that involves group. Okay, so again, the same thing holds. And if you notice the pattern here, you have to sell, if you are priced lower, you have to sell more units to achieve your goal. If you have a higher priced ticket, higher ticket item, well, then you have to sell less. Now, the reason not everyone jumps to high ticket items right up front is simply because you also have to be able to provide that kind of value. And you also have to be able to connect with the kind of people who would pay high ticket. Okay. And again, when you're in the early stages of business, your network, the first set of people who buy from you are usually people who already know you or who have known you in some way. So not all of us have neighbors or acquaintances who would happily drop 10K on something. Okay? Like Samantha says, I don't know anyone who would drop 10K. But yes, at the same time, I want you to know that there are people out there. It's about you being able to connect with them and for you to be able to provide them a service that they value enough to spend 10K on. It is possible. For example, copywriters. Back in 2013 and 14, when I started copywriting, there were copywriters who would charge $10 an hour. And yet at the same time, I started at $10 an hour, but I quickly upped my rates, set up a team and all of that. I think the highest I was ever paid was around $300 an hour. We had to write a white paper. It was a 20-page or so white paper. It took me about 5-6 hours to write, and I got paid an average of $300 an hour to write that. If you told me before that someone would happily pay me $300 an hour to write a white paper that according to me wasn't really that technical, I would have said, But since then, I've gotten to know a lot of copywriters who charge $10,000 for a single sales page. Okay. Back when I started web design, I thought it was awesome if someone paid me $3K for a full website. But then I also, as I grew in that field, I upped my rates to 5K for a custom website. I never got into specializing as a web designer and marketing myself as the web designer to go to, but I do know quite a lot of web designers who don't take up projects below 10K, and their average project is almost like 20 to 30K. Now, depending on what your work is, even if you're not a web designer or a copywriter or someone who works with purely internet marketers who are willing to spend that kind of money, you can still have a package at this level. For example, it was very easy for you guys to come up with a weekend retreat at this or this price point. 10K could easily be 1 year of support or 6 months of support plus a retreat. Okay? That's one way to do it. If you had a week-long retreat plus 6 months of support, that could be a 10K package. Again, depending on the value you can provide to your target market. Does anyone here work with affiliates or ad revenues? Okay, I don't quite think so, but I want to cover this I want to cover especially affiliates. When you do a search, for example, for something like the best hosting, on Google, you will find at least 100 articles which compare this hosting plan versus this hosting plan, or this website builder versus that website builder. And if you look at them, if you actually look at them closely, you will find that there are lots. The reason there are so many of those articles is because they are loaded with affiliate links. So people get a lot of money when you buy from their link. One of the first or upcoming internet marketers is a guy called Pat Flynn. He started way back, I think 2007 or 8, and he called himself the crash test dummy of internet marketing. And he would share his income every month. And I saw his income go, start from like the 20, 30K per month level to the 100K, 150K per month level. And he would give a breakup of his income, 150K per month income. And for many, many, many months while I was tracking this was back in 2011, 12 something, he was making 100K per month just from affiliate marketing for Bluehost, one company, one hosting company. Okay, that's the power of affiliate marketing. But that kind of money from affiliate marketing requires that you have a few 100,000 people coming to your blog, coming to your site, or looking up that affiliate article every month, a few 100,000 visitors. Go back and check your WordPress stats. How many visitors do you have every day? So in order to get to that kind of level for affiliate marketing, you really have to work to build up your traffic to your website. But even if not that, and even if you're not going fully out for affiliate marketing, you can still make a couple of strategic partnerships and have some kind of affiliate income coming in on the back burner. Is there a course or program that you really, really love? Is there a service that you really, really love that you would happily recommend to people? They may or may not pay you this kind of rates, but even if they pay you like $100 for a referral, that's at least something coming in on the side behind the scenes. I think I already mentioned this. One of the key reasons that B School, Marie Forleo's B School took off really, really well, I think around 2012 to 2014, was that she had a lot of affiliates. She had this network of people who were vouching for her, who were pitching for her, and were helping her sell this. First, I used to think, okay, that's word of mouth because people love her so much. And then I found out she had $1,000 affiliate thing, right? So for every sale, they got paid $1,000. Can you imagine if you refer just 10 people to Marie Forleo's program, you get 10K, right? So over time, this can add up really well. Now, ad per revenue, this requires you get for the ad revenue a PPC, a cost per click, or a pay per click or pay per view. is usually around this price range. That's 1 cent for every person who sees that ad, which means, again, to make any kind of money from ad revenues, you need to have a few 100,000 visitors to your website every month. And again, I'm sharing this because I've had people come to me and say that, you know what, I just want to start a blog and I'm going to put up ads on it and that's going to be my business. Yes, it is possible to build a business based purely on ad revenues, but you would have to do a lot of background work to get that kind of traffic. And I don't really work on that model anymore. There was a time when I would look at help people with increasing their, in getting to that 100K, 200K visitors a month, but no longer. Right now, I focus on helping women create service-based, passion-based businesses that want to make a real change in the world. This becomes purely about numbers and money. I don't want to work in that model anymore. Okay, I've been on a bit of a rant. But ladies, do you get a feel of these models? What's your main takeaway from this? I wanted to show you these models and how different pricing changes how much you really have to sell. Yes, so Tiffany, higher price is better. Uh, Remember that higher price comes with a catch. You have to be able to deliver that value, and the person you're selling to should see that value. That's the catch with it. But yes, if you can create a 10K package or even a 3K or a 5K package, right? And connect with the right kind of people who would value that package, then you're set. That's a much nicer business model than having to sell $50 per hour sessions or a $97 course. Okay, and it takes some effort to get to establish yourself as the expert and as the authority that people would be willing to pay 10K to or willing to pay 5K to. So you do have to do that work. But what I want you to take away is that please don't be stuck at the $100 course level or the $50 per hour thing. I want you guys to all start thinking about how can you provide higher end services. Okay, how can you move up to that 500, that 1,000, that $3,000 mark? Okay, so start thinking about that. Now, are you guys up for some more numbers? Has this registered? Are you guys comfortable with this? Can we move on to something else? How to actually make this happen? Because heck, I mean, you really can't create 3 different types of courses and 5 different types of packages and this. You can't create all of these in your business. You have to choose which of these would work best for you, how to choose that, and how to decide which of them to offer during the year. Okay, so let's move on, but just give me a minute. Let me get some water. Okay, so with all of those options, what's the best way to work? What's the easiest way to work? Now, when I work one-on-one with clients, I help them map out what I call stacked offers. Stacked offers simply mean that you establish yourself as the expert in one area, choose one area, one zone, one thing that you get known for. So if people think about that one thing, they think about you. Okay. Why that one thing? Even though you might be great at many things, even though you might be multi-passionate, even though you can help people with X, Y, Z, A, B, C. But when you do that, when you try to tell people that you can do everything all together, what happens is A, people get confused. B, you have to come up with a whole lot of marketing. You have to come up with the marketing material for area A. You have to come up with the marketing material for area B, C, D, whatever, right? So you are wearing yourself thin, coming up with different kinds of marketing for different areas of expertise. And you're also confusing your audience because they don't know what to refer you for or what to come to you for. So if you choose just one area that you are going to get known for, and in that area, Map out offerings at different levels. Okay. Now, when I say map out offerings at different levels, since most of you are women solopreneurs doing a lot of one-on-one work, what that means is it's not as if you have to create videos or a whole lot of content for each of these levels upfront. All it means is that you need to have the idea mapped out. And then when someone approaches you who you think might be a good fit for that package, you let them know, hey, I have a package that can help you get ABC and it costs $3,000. Would you like me to tell you more about it? Okay. So I want you guys to do a small assignment after this. If you don't have this already, sit down and write out different offers that you can provide at this point. Like a good thing for a $97 thing is, say, a course for beginners or a single session. At the $200 price point, you can have, depending on what your hourly rate is already, you can either have a single one-on-one session or 2 one-to-one sessions. At $500, you can have a set of 3 or 5 one-to-one sessions, or say an 8-week group program. Okay? So I just want you to take this stack and write down what kind of service you can offer at these price points. Okay? Just write it down. And in your marketing, if you start becoming known for one thing, you might have, let me give you a concrete example. One of my clients works with people to set up nonprofits. She helps people set up nonprofits. And she created this course. I think she was selling it $80 or $90. And she's been struggling to sell it for a year or two. She wasn't getting people to sign up. And she's like, in my day work, I help churches set up nonprofits, and a certain set of people set up nonprofits. In my online business, I only want to be selling this course. And I'm like, in your online business, can't you do whatever you're doing for these people in person right now? Can't you also do that online? She wanted to move to an online model and reduce this dependency on her local network. But she was focused on only selling a $97 course. So one of the first exercises we did is help her map out her stacked offers. What are the other services that she can provide? And yeah, when you set up a nonprofit, there's a lot of paperwork. So we worked out, her packages. At 1,000, she can provide X number of consulting sessions plus a little bit of paperwork. For 3,000, more paperwork done for you. 5,000, more consulting and paperwork. So we just mapped these ideas out. And the next time someone approached her, someone who talked to her before, and she kept sending them to her course, but that person didn't want the course. Once she had these ideas mapped out. Okay? Now again, remember, these are just services. It's not that you have to create a shop up front or something like that. You just need to map out the idea. So once she had this idea mapped out and someone approached her, she pitched them her course, and they said, you know what, I don't want a course. I just want someone to do it for me. She said, okay, you know what? I can do it for you and I will charge you $2,300 to deliver this. And in the next 2 days, 2 people signed up for that. That's the power of having these offers mapped out. Anyone getting, okay. Can you guys start thinking of what would you offer at these price points? Make sense? Just map it out. You don't have to actually do anything with it. You don't have to go and record 20,000 videos for it or any such thing. But have it mapped out on paper somewhere so that if you get someone who's interested in that kind of service, you can fine-tune it and pitch it to them. Are you guys still with me? Okay. So, please tell me my internet has not dropped off. Okay, awesome. I'm always afraid of that. So we've talked about a couple of fundamental things. We've talked about having income streams, different income streams, and pricing. We've talked about stacked offers so that your marketing is easier. Okay? And now we'll get on to the roadmaps. Now, you're not going to make 100K overnight. I want to show you how it is possible to stack up to 100K over 12 months. There are 6 possible ways for you to do it. There might be more, but I'm going to take 6 possible ways. I'm going to show you 6 possible examples. Okay, are you guys with me? I know we're having we're having a lot of Excel sheets, we're having more Excel sheets than slides. But I hope these spreadsheets are simple enough for you to follow along. If you guys have any questions specific, please post them in the chat box. And let me just, yeah. So the first method, or the first way, one way to do it is to focus on marketing just one thing. So you have your stacked offers, right? And while you have your stacked offers written out and mapped somewhere, in your marketing, focus on just one thing. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but when you focus on marketing just one thing, let's say I focus on marketing just my $1,000 offer. But by doing that, I establish myself as the expert. Over time, I'm going to have people approach me and say, hey, you know what? I really love the work that you do, but I'm not quite ready for your $1,000 thing. So you can point them to your $97 course or your $500 thing. You may also have people who come to you and say, hey, you know what? I really love this, but I also need XYZ. So then you can point them to the $5,000 thing or the $10,000 thing. So your marketing efforts are focused on this. And the other things are also there mapped out. And when you get the right people or when they approach you, you pitch them the higher end stuff especially. Or every once in a while in your email newsletter, you say, okay, I've opened up a couple of spots for the 10K package. Anyone interested? Click here to book a discovery call with me. So you might market it once in a while, but your main focus throughout the year is this. And let me give you a couple of examples for this. For example, Marie Forleo's B School. Open enrollments only once a year, around February or something like that. But it costs $2,000. So over the rest of the year, she keeps marketing her stuff. She keeps sending out, she has something that Marie TV and other stuff. She gets people joining her email list. Then January, February, she has a very concentrated launch where she gets a whole lot of people in the industry talking about it. And she ends up with 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 people signing up for B School at a $2,000 point. So directly there, if she has, let's say, 4,000 people sign up at a $2,000 price point, what did I do wrong? Oh yeah. Do you see that number? Right? So she's launching just once a year. Throughout the year, she's just focused on that one thing. And in one shot, that's the income. Another example is Denise Duffield Thomas with her Money Bootcamp. Money Bootcamp also costs $2,000. And she launches live rounds, I think 2 or 3 times a year, but it is also open for enrollment throughout. That's the one thing that she has gotten known for, the Money Bootcamp. Everyone knows her as the lady who helps you uncover money blocks for business, in business especially. So that one program at $2,000, when she launches, I'm not quite sure of her numbers, but I know she signs up at least a few hundred people every single launch. And she also has ads running to the program throughout the year so that she has an average of, I think, around 1,000 or 2,000 people sign up every year for the Money Bootcamp. And in between, she also, over the last year, she's added in another money archetype program, but that's secondary. It's not that big a deal. Her focus is always on marketing one program. That's her Money Bootcamp. Make sense, everyone? Do you see how you can just focus on marketing one program and build up that momentum to create your income level? Make sense? Okay. So for example, if you had to reach, let's say if you had your money goal, someone mentioned their money goal was 50K, right? So if you have to reach 50K, can you focus on just selling $1,000 program and reach that? This is a very, I'm going to be using this chart and to show you this is the year, month, and how many items you need to sell at this price point. Okay. So if you were to sell, let's say you start in January, start establishing yourself as the expert in one area. In February, you sell only one spot. In January, you don't sell anything because you're establishing yourself. You're just starting out. In February, you sell one. In March, you sell three. Here, you sell four. Okay. And you maintain it as a, sorry, 1 minute. My Zoom thing is covering my, okay. Where did I go? Yeah. So if you maintain a steady four, if you just sell four each month, you can get to cool 40K. If you manage to sell, let's say 2 months, you get to 44K. And if you manage to sell just one odd three, does this make sense? So if you focus on marketing $1,000 thing, you sell 1, 3, 4, 4, 6, just sell a handful of them each month and throw in two $3,000 engagements in a year, you can hit a 50K goal. I'm forgetting who said that their goal was 50K, but this is one way to reach that goal. Make sense, ladies? Questions on this? Okay, so this is the first way. Let me just zero out everything. And let's move to the second method. Now, focusing on one thing makes your marketing really, really, really simple. The next way is to focus on marketing one thing each month. Choose, of your stacked offer, choose 3 or 4. Okay, I'd say choose the middle, a $200 thing, a 1,000, a $5,000 thing, and rotate every month. Say you'll focus on one thing. If you choose to focus on $100 thing in a particular month, remember that your $100 thing should be a gateway to your next level. The $100 thing is not really going to make you a whole lot of money, but it should help you. It should help people over the first step so that they are ready for the next step in your business and they up level or upgrade to the next level of service. Make sense, ladies? So for example, if I sell 10 $100 services in Feb and make it 20 each month, do you see how even though I've sold 20 of these $100 services each month, I still get only to 21K in the year. Okay. So selling or focusing your marketing efforts on a $100 thing only works is if after that $100 thing, you get them to purchase a $500 or $1,000 or one of your higher end things. So let's get back to this marketing example. I'm going to zero this out and focus on marketing one thing each month. Let's say in January, I focused on marketing my $100 thing and I got 10 sales. And I got 10 sales from it. Of those 10 sales, 3 people upgraded or moved into my $500 program a few months later. Because yes, it takes time for people to finish that and be ready for the next step. So let's assume that this happened. Then in February, I focused on marketing my $500 thing and I got 10 people to sign up. Then in March, I got 10 people to sign up here. Okay. Now, when you're doing this, do you see over 3 months, it's only come to 17K, which means that I need to set my goals higher because if I continue the 17K for a quarter, I'm not going to get 100K. I need to be selling more. So that tells me that maybe I should focus my efforts for the next month on a higher ticket item. If I focus my effort here for 1 month, my marketing effort here, and I sell just one of it, that's really awesome. Are you guys still with me? Do you see how this is happening or how you can build it up? Okay. So the thing, by focusing on marketing one thing every month, you have a very clear action plan and a very clear marketing plan. I often see people get lost in, okay, this month I'm going to focus on selling one-on-ones, and I'm going to focus on messaging, as in I'm going to sell my one-on-one sessions for messaging. And then the next month I'm selling the same one-on-one sessions, but this time for something else. Instead of messaging, I'm saying I'll help you with the branding. But if you only focus on selling this $100 sessions, you're not going to be able to add up to 100K or even 50K. You have to look at moving up. So let's come back to this. If you focus on marketing one thing every month, so this January I focused on the $10 thing. February I focused on the $500 thing. And from the $500 thing, 3 months later, let's say 3 people upgraded. In March, I focus on marketing the $1,000 thing. And after that, a few months later, someone upgraded from that to my 10K package, because it'll take them a while to build up and move on to the next level. So say that I had only one upgrade there. But just by doing this, by having a few strategic upgrades and focusing on one core area of marketing each month, I have reached 40K. You see that? So let's say the next month, I'm going to focus on marketing this, and instead of 10K, because it's a higher price point, so instead of 10 sales, I get only 5 sales. Now, what you notice here is that every month you are building up your credibility when you're marketing these things. You're building up your credibility, you're building up your authority, you're getting more people to know you. So it progressively becomes easier. Then after this, you can get back to your $100 course or your 1 hour service or something like that. And this time around, because you've built up your authority, you're likely to have more people to sign up. Okay. Similarly, when you do this, instead of 10, you might get 15 people. Let's just say, do you see that right now I'm not even adding in anything for people who have upgraded to the next level? So do you see how if I just repeat this next quarter, I can have 127K. Does this feel doable? That in 1 month you sell only 20 units of your $100 thing. In the next month you sell 15 units of your $500 thing. And the next month you sell 10. Does this feel doable? Yeah? Okay. So when I break it down like this, the reason I'm showing you this clearly is so that you can see, once you know that, okay, in January, I'm going to focus on the $100 thing, whatever that is, whether that's a 1 hour session with you or a simple course, whatever it is. So you know, this is one roadmap. You can just focus on one thing each month, focus on selling one thing each month, and you don't have to sign up like 20,000 people. You just need to get 10 people in the door every month, or 5 people if this is the case. And you easily build up to 127K. Now let's look at that 50K example with this. To reach a 50K goal, this is what I would have to do. 5, 5, 5. Okay, say 1. Let's remove all the extras. I'm just guessing here. Let me just try this out and then I'll explain it to you. Okay, so this was for the 50K example. If I want to reach 50K and I use this method of focusing on one particular thing to market every month, the first month I focus on my $100 thing, I just have to sell 5. Second month I focus on $500, I just have to sell 5. Third month I focus on the $1,000 thing, again just sell 5. And here I'm not even looking at any upsells. Without going into any upsells, by just focusing on selling one thing every month and selling just 5 of them every month, I can get to 57K. So do you see, when you have this kind of roadmap, it is so easy to get there. You know that, okay, If I haven't managed to sell 5 here, then let me target selling 6 here. Or if I didn't meet this target of five sales for March of the $1,000 thing, let me target 6 or 7 sales here. Do you see, once you have this kind of plan, how doable it is to reach that 50K or even that 100K goal? Yes. Okay, I'm wondering if the responses are delayed or whether I'm still online. Can someone give? Yes, Robin says not so overwhelming. So you see how it suddenly becomes possible, right? Okay, so let's move on to the next roadmap. So this is one possible way of doing it. Let's move on to the next way of doing it. Okay, item number 3, you launch the same thing every quarter. Now, this is one of the things that women find very, very difficult because we are multi-passionate, because most of us are multi-passionate and we want to be doing everything. We want to be helping everyone. And we know that, hey, you know what, I can help this person in this way and I can help that person in that way. Ladies, I see we're going a bit over time, but please bear with me or you can catch up on the recording. Okay. So it's very difficult for us to say no and say that I'm going to focus on launching the same thing only once a quarter. And this works well best for if you have a $5,000 or one of the higher price point things. If you want to launch a $100 thing every quarter and make 50K, you would have to sell, let's say, right, these are the quarters. March, June, September, December. Okay, so if you were to focus on the $100 product or service, you would have to sell a much, much larger number of them. So for 100K, you'd have to sell 25. Sorry, 25? No. So if you sold 25 every quarter, you would just make 10K. So basically, you'd have to sell 250 each quarter. Sorry, I got my math wrong. Right? Which means you would spend the rest of these 2 months building up your email list by a few thousand people so that you could sell 250 units of this, which is a tall order unless you're heavily into Facebook ads. So if you're focusing on launching once a quarter, a $100 service or program is not really the way to go. Okay, got that, ladies? If you're focusing on launching once a quarter, now this is good for those who don't like continuous marketing, who don't want to be selling one-on-one services as such, who would rather create a course or a program at a higher price point. So, for example, if you had a $1,000 product or program or group program that you sell every quarter, okay, then you could do this 25, 25, 25, 25. For example, I love running boot camps. Okay? If I could, one way for me to do things would be to streamline and only launch once a quarter. That's open up seats to my live boot camps only once a quarter, and every round get 25 women in at this price point. You see how this makes it easy? If I had a $500, if my group program or whatever I'm launching was $500, then I'd have to sell more of it. I'd have to sell 50 of them every quarter. Okay. So do you see how this kind of launch plan can work? Launching more than once a quarter becomes difficult in that it takes a lot of energy and you have to learn how to work with Facebook ads, etc., etc. Launching takes a lot of time and energy and effort. So I don't recommend launching more than once every quarter, especially if you're new to business. Okay, so this is one of the easy ways. Create a program that people love and launch it every quarter. You just need to sign up 25 people every quarter to reach a 100K goal. This is great for those who don't want to create a service where they keep selling to people or doing things for people. Make sense? Okay, so let's go on to the next thing then. Okay, so let's say you do not You're not yet at the stage where you can have 25 people sign up for your course or program every quarter, or you don't want to launch that way. Guys, Zoom seems to be showing me that there are comments, but I can't see comments. Are you guys with me so far? Okay. So let's move on to number 4, to launch one-on-ones between group program. So let's say you continue that plan for launching your $1,000 program once every quarter, but your business isn't quite at the stage where you want to take on 25 people at one shot, and you would rather have smaller groups of say 10 people. So let's say you have 10 people sign up for your $1,000 program every quarter. Okay. So by doing that, you've reached a 40K goal. And in between, you market your one-on-one services. So in between, in Jan or Feb, you can focus on just selling your $500 thing or, okay. This is great for those who like that combination of one-on-one work, who still want that interaction with their people, and yet also want to launch a group program or a course periodically. Yeah, to make 100K, you would have to sell more than 5 of your $500 things. You'd probably have to sell a couple of $3,000. Basically, you get the point, right? You take this. What I will do is when I send out the replay, I will send you guys a link to this Excel sheet. Use it as a playbook. Use this to experiment and get your own numbers. How do you want to really be launching? How do you really want to be selling? Are you more comfortable focusing on selling one thing each month, or one thing each quarter, or one thing all through the year? Or do you want let me zero out this and move on to the next one. Okay, show you the next example. Or do you want to be marketing everything in parallel? Now, this is what I see most people doing in a lot of the groups, that they have all these kind of, they have a course which teaches A, they have another course which teaches B, they have a one-on-one service that helps you address X, they have another service that helps you address Y, and they are trying to sell everything in parallel. One week they're advertising this service, the next week they're advertising that service. And when that happens, it leaves people confused. It leaves your target market, your viewers confused. So a lot of people do this, try to market everything together. And yes, you can reach 100K with that as well. You can reach 50K marketing everything in parallel. And this is honestly what most people do, because they haven't figured out these kind of structures. They haven't figured out what to focus on when. Okay. But this usually leads to chaos. I can plug in the numbers here and show you how you can keep marketing everything in parallel and still make 100K, but it becomes really, really difficult. Okay. Any questions on that? Have you guys, any of you experienced that, tried that, that's trying to market everything all together and getting messed up with it? I know I have. I am guilty of that. Okay. And then the last roadmap, the 6th roadmap, is just to go high end. When I say go high end, well, just sign up one 10K client a month. Okay. You remember those examples that I gave for people who charge $10,000 to write a sales page or to create an email, to create a funnel? Well, they just need to sign up one client a month and they have that. Again, the catch with going high end is that you need to be able to connect to those kind of people who value what you're providing and who value it enough to pay 10K for it. Okay? But yeah, if you can get there, it's one of the easiest models. The catch is that you are very, very, very niched. You are super niched and you're known in smaller circles. You're known in the elite circles. You're selling to the elite circles. You're not really helping the masses. And especially when it comes to women running passion-based businesses, I find that you want to reach more people. You want to create more of an impact. You want to help more people. You don't want to limit yourself to the high end, to the elite, to only the people who can spend 10K. Right? So I've often had clients give me that reason for not wanting to move to high end and continue struggling with $100 and $500 offers. My answer to that, my response to that is, hey, you know what? Imagine how much easier your life would be if you just sold one 10K package a month. It would free up a lot of the time that you spend on Facebook. It would free up a lot of the time and energy you spend on worrying how you're going to pay the bills and signing up clients. You can just focus on signing one 10K client each month. And with all the mind space you now have available, from no longer being frustrated, from no longer trying 20 different things to market stuff, etc., you have a whole lot of time and space available, and you can go and create a ton of free content, free videos. You could even give off your $100 course for free and help so many people, so many more people at the grassroots level for free, because you have opened up your time and space by going high end. Now, I know 10K is an extreme example. It doesn't have to be 10K for you. You can say that this year, in 2019, I'm going to focus on selling, I'm going to focus on selling $1,000 packages. And when I have a steady stream of $1,000 clients coming in every month, let's say you sell just 5 a month. 1 minute. Let's say you just sell 5 a month. Let me zero this out. Right? You're making a cool 55K. And for those of you whose target is 50K, you're good. You can just sell 5 of these each month and you're good. And you have a lot of mental space left over to create a whole lot of free content for the people who can't quite afford your $1,000 package. Make sense? Okay, who's still with me, ladies? With this, I wrap up the 6 roadmaps. We have covered a lot of ground in this webinar. It could be an in-depth course in itself. We've talked about different kinds of income streams. Hey, don't go off just yet, Robin. We are going to be doing a little meditation in a while. Okay, so we've talked about different kinds of income streams. We've talked about stacked offers, just outlining them and keeping them ready on paper. And then different kinds of roadmaps you can use to achieve your goal. Now, I used 100K as an example, and when I send out this spreadsheet, you can fill in your numbers and see how it works out for you and for your goal. But with all of this, given this background, given all that I've shared right now, does it feel more doable? Does it feel achievable? Do you guys think you can actually hit your target for 2019, whether it was 50K, 60K, or 100 or 120K? Please share in the chat box. What, Samantha, just worth a try? Right? You can definitely sell 5 of something each month, right? When you have this kind of plan, it's easier to go ahead rather than every month breaking your head over, okay, what should I market now? What should I sell? Should I launch? Should I create a mastermind? Should I create a group program? You don't have to keep worrying about that every month or every quarter. Sit down over the next couple of days and figure out what your stacked offers are going to be for the year. Just map out your stacked offers and stick to them. And choose one of these methods, ideally one of the first 4. Choose one of the first 4 and stick to that for the year, and you can reach your goal. It's totally doable. Inara says, that's how I work numbers. Yes, Inara. Okay. Yeah, Robin says, I like the idea of having free headspace. Awesome. Okay, are you ladies ready to do a little bit of a meditation or visualization exercise to help anchor this in? Okay, so get comfortable and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. Breathe in and out. Gently become aware of where your breath meets your body. Become aware of how it enters your nostrils and goes in to your lungs and flowing into the rest of your body. Become aware of every breath as it enters and leaves your body. In and out. In and out. Feel, imagine you are in your most favorite place, sitting comfortably on a really comfy chair or rug, wherever your most favorite place is, at the beach, under a tree. Imagine sinking into that feeling of comfort, of luxury even. Soak in that feeling of luxury, that awareness of luxury, of what it would be like to be in total bliss in your favorite spot. And as you're experiencing this, as you're letting this soak in, imagine 5 treasure chests appear in front of you. They're closed right now, but they have gold trimmings around them, and there's this magical golden light hovering around them. And you're curious what's inside. And you start seeing some numbers pop up on them. The first chest has a number pop up, $100. The second chest has a number pop up, $500. The third chest has a number pop up, $1,000. Then the next one has $5,000, and the one after that has $10,000. These numbers are hovering on them. And you're getting really excited because, yeah, they remind you of an Excel sheet. And you're wondering what's going to come out of them. And then they pop open, and coming out of them is a flood of money. The notes, the coins are just pouring out of them all around you, and you are totally enjoying it. It caught you by surprise, but hey, it's like a shower of money. And you're like, oh, what? Wow. Soak it in for a while. Enjoy it for a while, no matter how weird it feels to be surrounded by this money, to have the money flowing out of all of these treasure boxes onto you and surrounding you. Are you playing with the money? Are you enjoying it? Or are you like, I don't like money? Be aware of your feelings. See how you feel around this money. See how you're playing with this money. See how you're interacting with it. Soak in this feeling. Enjoy the moment. And when you feel you've had enough of playing with the money, of soaking it in, of enjoying the luxury, gently come back to the here and now. Become aware of your surroundings. Become aware of your body. Become aware of your breathing. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. And then in the chat box, please share with us, what did it feel like? Robin says magic. Michelle says that was fun. Yeah. Who played with money and who was feeling all weirded out by it? Yeah, this is a fun little exercise that you can do like whenever and however you want, just to get comfortable with money, to get comfortable with the idea of having money from different sources come to you, of having people pay for different services, even your higher end ones. Yeah, Nara played, Robin played. Yes, awesome ladies. Okay. And now, oh, I forgot. Damn. I've so loved sharing this with you. I had a very special offer lined up for you guys. Now that you've played with the money, now that you have figured out your roadmaps, the thing is, it takes more than a roadmap to actually make it happen. You have to learn your marketing. You have to get your offers lined up, the right offers for the right people, and you have to get the marketing right and a whole lot of other things. Okay. So I'm offering up a very special discounted sessions, a set of 3 sessions that you can do over 3 weeks to analyze what happened in your business in 2018 and better yet, help you plan out the best way to achieve your goals for 2019. It's usually $750 for 3 sessions, but I'm offering this up for the next 10 days, whoever signs up at a discounted price of $497. So if you'd like support to map out what your stacked offers are or how to achieve your goal in 2019, feel free to sign up. This is the link. I will also send it out along with the recording email. And for those of you who are not quite ready for the one-on-one sessions, I'd like you to check out the Passion Purpose Profit Incubator. This is a new program for which I will be opening the doors in January. Okay, it's a membership site. It's going to be a membership site where, of course, 1 minute. Yeah, we're still working on the sales page. Registrations are not open, but you can go here and sign up to be on the waiting list. And if you sign up to be on the waiting list, you can get in for just $79. It's a membership and you'll get in at $79 a month. Now, when I say this is a membership program, it has a complete set of business trainings, okay? It has a set of 6 courses. The first course is about the foundations of a profitable business. That includes, yes, the revenue model stuff that we talked about today, but that's just the starting. There's a whole lot of other business foundational stuff that a lot of online business owners miss. Okay. Then there's creating a magnetic presence, how to brand, how to create your photos, graphics, website, etc. to create that impact. If you're establishing yourself as a high-end service provider targeting that 10K market, you have to have the right kind of online presence. Even at the $1,000 level, you have to have a really strong online presence. Okay. The third course would be Online Marketing 101, how to leverage Facebook, email marketing, blog posts, podcasts, funnels, all of that online marketing stuff, how to do it, and templates, etc. to get you started. Then the level 2 online marketing, how to run your first webinar, how to create a 3-part video series, masterclass, summits, guest appearances, how to get all those media mentions, all of that to leverage your growth. All of that is in course 4. Course 5 is especially for those of you who are launching your course or group program, how to create the slides, how to map it out, how to create the videos, where to host it, a marketing plan, all that stuff. And course 6 is a supplement of sorts to handle all of the tech behind your business. So these are the courses that will be available to everyone. Along with that, every month, yeah. So you'll have instant access to all the courses. We will also have a monthly group coaching program where you get asked all your questions and stuff. A supportive Facebook community, a training by experts every single month, monthly themes to help you get things done. So the second week of every month, we will decide a theme and I will lead you through that theme almost like a challenge to get things done. Here is a list of themes. Okay. So January is about goal setting. February will be about clarity and planning. March is creating your freebie and funnels. April is focused on list building. May is about creating your online brand and website. June is to get fully booked in your one-on-one services, etc., etc. So every month has a theme, and I will be guiding the people through the participants through that theme of the month. So you have intensive business trainings, you have a monthly theme, you have a monthly group coaching program, you have monthly experts coming in to share their expertise, and all of that for just $79 as a founding members if you sign up to be on the wait list. Beyond that, after once the doors open, it will be $97 per month, which again is still pretty cheap. But if you'd like to be a founding member and save some money, sign up to be on the wait list. And I will send out this link in the replay email. Do you guys have any question about either of these offers, the one-on-one offer for 3 sessions or the Passion Purpose Profit Incubator? Okay, as and when the questions come up, please feel free to send me an email. And yes, if you know other women who'd benefit for this kind of incubator, please let them know. I could sell each of these courses individually. I could, call it a group program, etc. But what I've found is that as women, we often need to go at our own pace. As women, we have 20,000 things demanding our time and attention. There's the kids, there's the family, there's other stuff. And so I wanted to create this kind of incubator, which gives women the freedom to go at their own pace, to build their business at their own pace, and yet have the right kind of support. This covers everything from business basics to the tech, to the strategy, to the mindset. Everything will be covered all in one place. Okay, so whatever you need at that point of time, go into the appropriate lesson, take the instructions, go out and do it. And be supported in that in our Facebook community, in the monthly group coaching calls. Because I know not everyone is ready for my one-on-one services. Not everyone wants to sign up with a coach for 6 months. And especially in the early stages of business, you shouldn't have to. So this incubator is my passion project. And yes, it's priced at $97. And since we discussed, these Excel sheet and all of that, I do anticipate this is my base level offering, and I would like to have at least 100 women sign up for this in the next year. Now, 100 women at $100 a month, that's, not very much. But what I do anticipate is that over time, once their business starts growing, when they want that one-on-one support, they will step up to my other programs. And simply, this is my way of stacked offers, or this is my way of helping even more women start their business. Because I truly believe, I've come to believe at least, that a business is the best way for women to achieve that financial freedom. A job, corporate, doesn't quite give you that kind of freedom that we want, the kind of lifestyles that we want. And often I've seen people struggle for years getting their business off the ground. They said that they started their business 4 and 5 and 8 years ago, but they haven't really made beyond a 10K or a 5K a year. That's simply because they don't have the right kind of support and training. So my goal with the Passion Purpose Profit Incubator is to help those women get their business off the ground, to get their business flowing and have the right kind of support to grow it. So I'd love for you to sign up for this, and I'd love for you even more to help me spread the word about it. If you have any questions and stuff, feel free to send me a message on Facebook. And I have gone way, way over time. I usually don't go this over time on webinars. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for staying with me this long. Thank you, everyone. It's been awesome. I hope you enjoyed this webinar, and I hope it gives you a solid basis on which to plan your 2019. Till next time, see you around on Facebook and happy holidays, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.